Hello, friends. Hello, friends. A tradition unlike any other.
Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
There it is! Adam Scott, a life changer.
Mashed potato!
Here it comes.
Welcome back to the 19th Tee podcast. Drew's with you for tonight's episode. I'm going to be joined by Steph Kyriacou very shortly, but before we do get to Steph's chat, there are a few things we need to cover off. A little bit of news and housekeeping at the top as well. Been plenty happening in the world of golf over the past week or so. We've obviously been away for a week, and we're back with a special Friday episode with Steph. It is day one, or the conclusion of day one of the Vic Open at the moment. So we're very much enjoying that. We're going to chat to Steph about that in a moment, but let's get to our good friends at Cobra Puma Golf, who have, of course, launched the new LTDX, the drivers, the woods, or the fairway woods, the hybrids, and now the irons. So make sure you check out the new Cobra Puma LTDX. They are engineered for the longest total distance. They've got the hot face. Go and check them out. Two really great colors in the black and orange, and also in the blue and the matte black as well. Don't forget to check out our friends at the Golf Collective as well. You can use the code 19th T for a huge discount at the checkout. Make sure that you get involved with that. Essentially, it's $110 and you get a handicap. It is the cheapest way to get a handicap, and you can actually play stable foot against your mates and get really, really involved, play some good little money matches as well. A couple of results to run through before we do get to Steph's chat. As I mentioned, of course, TPS Victoria happened last week. That was won by Todd Sinnott. He was a one-shot winner over Daniel Gale and Anthony Quayle, who have both been very consistent to start the season. But this was all about Todd Sinnott. He won at 20 under par. Of course, Tom Hoagie won at Pebble Beach, the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Not one of my favorite events, but really one of my favorite courses. I do love watching Pebble Beach, and I wish they played a normal 4-round tournament there. I think that would be a lot of fun, but we have to settle for the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Jordan Spieth's outright second place. I think that was probably the biggest story of the week. His ball striking was really, really fantastic. So hopefully things are going in the right direction for Jordan Spieth, as they have been for the past about 18 months or so, which is great. Leona Maguire won the Drive On Championship. That is her inaugural LPGA Tour win. So congratulations to Leona. She's been knocking on the door for quite a while now, and it's fantastic to see her finally break through and hold the trophy. Harold Varner III won the Saudi International. It's not a tournament we particularly love talking about here on the 19th Tee. It was an incredible putt to win that, 95 feet for eagle, if you don't mind. Go and check that out if you haven't. It's all over social media. Cam Smith was the highest Aussie at T4, but my eye was on my man, Adri Arnau, who finished outright third. He was leading at 1 point. So unfortunate for Adri not to get the job done over there in Saudi Arabia. And a shout out to Louis Dobler, who finished at T55, 4 over par, making the weekend. Unfortunately, Jed Morgan didn't quite make the cut. Of course, as I mentioned, we are through the first round of the Vic Open, and we did hear during the week that due to the New Zealand Open being cancelled, there would be 3 spots up for grabs at the Open Championship this year. So that is fantastic to see, and hopefully adds a little extra bonus to the players in the field at the Vic Open this week down at 13th Beach. It is a fantastic tournament every year, and I love the way that it runs, again, with the men and women playing alongside each other, and the course 13th Beach playing just fantastically across all 4 days. John Lyris is the current leader at 8 under, of course, at time of recording. This is on Thursday night. Our man, Dimi Papadakis, 1 shot back at 7 under par. And then friends of the pod, James Marcassani, Zach Murray in 3rd place, alongside Cameron John and Andrew Martin. Plenty of other names in the leaderboard. Jake McLeod, a couple of shots back as well. A really big field here, which is fantastic to see. And of course, Karis Davidson leading on the women's side as well, which is great. Great news for Karis. She's in a tie with two other players, including Hannah Green as well. Whitney Hillier is currently in fourth place, one shot back. So it is only day one, but great to see the golf happening across the two courses down there at 13th Beach. And then I guess the biggest news of the week, more broadly in golfing circles, was the International Series officially announcing their launch, the Live Golf Investments backed by Greg Norman. That was confirmed that they'll be playing across Europe, across Asia, and throughout the Middle East. There is no Australian event. They did approach the PGA Tour of Australasia and Golf Australia. They declined to be involved, instead aligning themselves to the DP World Tour. I guess I can certainly see where they're coming from in aligning themselves to the DP World Tour. I think there is still a lot of ethical issues to aligning with Live Golf Investments and the Asian Tour at the moment and the International Series. So very interesting to see how that pans out. A little part of me does wonder what it would have meant for Australian golf if we did have one of these really significant events here in Australia. What would that have done? What sort of players will it attract? So I guess a little bit of the unknown at the moment. Of course, Phil Mickelson went pretty nuclear with some comments this week as well. There's some really great discussion and dissection. I'm not going to run through it all here on a solo episode at the moment. One maybe that I'll bring up with Marshy next week, but go online and check out Phil's comments. They were pretty significant. Not sure how accurate they entirely were, but what was accurate was the $135 million offered to Bryson DeChambeau to join the Breakaway League. We believe the Saudi Golf League. So 135 million, that's more than Tiger has earned in his entire career. So significant number being thrown around. We're hearing other players like Lee Westwood, Rory, Phil, of course, is going to be offered. Tiger's been offered some money. So there's plenty of names that are going to be thrown around. And I think it's great that we're finally starting to see a little bit of traction in this. And we'll see who wants to jump first. It's all there, all sort of standing on the cliff's edge, ready to jump with the parachutes on, but no one wants to be the first one to take that leap. So that'll be very interesting to follow over the next couple of weeks and months. And then just lastly, the 2028 President's Cup is rumoured to be coming back to Royal Melbourne, which is fantastic news. It was a wonderful event back in 2019, something that I really enjoyed going to. And I am hoping to be back there in 2028 again. Hopefully this podcast is still going. Hopefully we're able to do some content around it. It's a wonderful course, and I think it sets up the best opportunity for the internationals to get their breakthrough victory if it doesn't happen before then. So it is only a rumor at the moment, but wouldn't at all surprise me if that was locked in the next couple of days. But some fantastic news coming out of the PGA Tour. Of course, if you haven't seen our socials, head over. You can watch part 1 and part 2 of my 9-hole match against 4-4 Golf, David Gapes. It was a wonderful afternoon up there at Sun City, playing a 9-hole match against Dave. Sun City's a wonderful course, and Dave is a wonderful human, doing fantastic things for the West Australian golfing community, producing some really good content. So go and check out part 1 on 4-4 Golf's YouTube. That's FORE to FOUR Golf. Go check out part 1 on their YouTube, and then part 2 is on our YouTube channel as well. So go and get out to that one. Get out to Sun City. Have a hit out there. It is really a great course. And shout out to Dave. He is the current club champion, net club champion. He'll make sure that I'm saying that he's the net club champion. So get involved with that. Support our partners in Cobra Puma, of course, Gage Road, Sure Shot, and our friends at the Golf Collective, and our very good friends at Oakley as well. So without any further ado, let's get into Steph Kyriacou. Steph, thanks very much for joining us on the 19th tee for the second time.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's get chatting.
We are recording on after day 1 of the Vic Open. You were saying it was a bit of a weird day down there. It was windy. You're going to blame it on the wind. How's 13th Beach playing at the moment? I mentioned nice putt on 17. For those who didn't see it, it was kind of up and over a shelf and just fed in nicely to the hole. How was day 1 out there at 13th Beach?
Yeah, it was quite good actually. The weather was really sunny, but I mean it's always windy at 13th Beach, so not surprised there. But I mean the weather in the practice rounds though was unbelievable for here, like perfect. It was sunny, not too hot. Yeah, it was good. Course is in good condition.
Can you take any of the I guess coming back from Europe where it's very windy throughout the year? Can you take any of the learnings that you had from Europe and apply it over here to 13th Beach?
Yeah, I mean, again, in Europe, it was all right. It's this, even like a couple of years ago when the Vic Open was on here, it was probably some of the windiest golf I've ever played in. So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where you just have to kind of accept the bogeys and just move on, really, because for me, more of them happened today than I wanted to.
What's it like being back in Australia? I mean, you've been away for a fair while. Back home now, obviously, we'll get to the WPGA in a minute and the the nightmare fuel that was for you there. But it must be nice to be home and playing in some events back here on your home soil.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, the flight home was only like 15 hours, but it went for so much longer than that. And like when I got home, I had to do 3 days at home, which is all right actually, because like, I mean, I kind of just got over jet lag, but it's so good being home, honestly. It was just so long away, like 7 months.
Have you recovered from that? Like you've come back and you're kind of straight into golf again. Like obviously Europe to America to here. Like have you recovered, given yourself a chance to recover?
Yeah, I took a couple weeks off. I went away. I went up the coast with my boyfriend and we just like chilled a bit. And then I just kind of caught up with family, friends. And then I started practicing again for the WPGA when I didn't really need to.
What happened there, Steph?
Yeah, I copped COVID. But like I tested negative twice the week before and then I got it. Like I tested negative on the Monday to fly up and then I got on Tuesday and then had to spend a week in isolation in Queensland. Would have much preferred to test positive on the Monday just so I could stay in my own bed.
How frustrating, I guess, is that? Because I think, over here in Perth, we probably haven't witnessed it as great as what, perhaps you've seen in Europe or in New South Wales and Victoria and Queensland. But like people have missed things because of COVID, but you're coming back after 7 months, really looking forward to what is probably the biggest women's event on the schedule in the WPGA, inaugural Curry Web Cup, all of that sort of stuff is in the back of your mind. And then to have that taken away, like must be just uber frustrating just from a golfing perspective. Yeah.
I mean, it was just so annoying, really. I remember like I was testing and like Quayle and Bunky, like obviously I'm good mates with them and like they were joking around with me and I was just not having a bar of it. Like Quayle, he saw me like sitting down and he gave me the finger and I just looked at him and shook my head. And then, he was a bit like, oh no. But yeah, the vibe was not there. So I was just, I don't even know how to explain it. I was just so pissed off.
Yeah, I can imagine. Quayle, there's a name that's been in a bit of form. Have you been getting around the great man? I mean, he's been playing some nice golf. Obviously, another win under his belt this season.
Yeah, he's been playing so good, hasn't he? He come second last week too. Yeah, I'm not sure how he's going in this tournament, but yeah, he's in some good form. It's nice to see.
Let's go back to Europe. That's probably where we left you last time. I think when we first chatted, you were about to jet off, and obviously we weren't really sure what the world was looking like and all of that. But I mean, can you sum up your European tour season in something succinct? Because it was an incredible season, I think is an understatement. And people probably haven't really thought of exactly everything that you achieved while you were over there. But can you just sum it up nicely for us?
I don't know. I don't know what to say about myself. No, I played all right. I had some really good scores, ticked off some goals, got a win, got some experience, got my LPGA card. Yeah, it was all right. Wasn't bad, was it?
Rookie of the year, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
third on the race to Costa del Sol. I mean, winning on won the big green egg.
Isn't it?
There's a heap of stuff in there, but I mean, just what were your expectations going over there? Because I guess obviously you burst onto the scene here with your win as an amateur, turned pro, I think 2 days later or something like that, and then you go over to Europe. What's your expectations of yourself? Are you going over there with a sense of belief, I guess, that yes, I am good enough to be here, but also tapering your expectation that I'm not really sure how good these players are? Like, how did you balance all of that before going over to Europe and tackling the LET?
Yeah, well, that event in Bonneville obviously gave me quite a big ego for a bit. Then, yeah, COVID hit. But when I went to Europe the first year, I got nervous in my first couple of events and like I went miscut, and then like pretty much last of making the cut at the Open. And then after those two, I just kind of settled down a bit. And then I think I had like 6 out of 8 top fives, like something like ridiculous. So like humbly, something like pretty good. And then like I think this year I had really high expectations because like the year before that in 2020 I like had really good results. And then I mean the start of the year was all right. I had a few good results, like top 10s early. My first event I came fourth, so I started off good, and then I had a win, and yeah, then I had quite a little rough patch there in the middle where I played shit, but then brought it back at the end. So yeah, I think my expectations were actually high going into the year, but I kind of just like lowered them a little bit just so there wasn't as much pressure, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. I'm looking through your results here, and I'm assuming that patch you're talking about that was probably challenging for yourself there was sort of around the Open de France and the Australia Dam Ladies Open, where I mean it wasn't horrible golf. I mean, you 54th, 34th, 51st, and then you bounce back with 6th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 4th, 5th. So things turned around pretty quick. But looking through it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but you didn't miss a cut all year? I don't think. Is that right?
In Europe, I didn't, but in Australia, yeah, I missed the cut.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
Funny dude.
You did, but I mean,
that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. But to go over to the LET and not miss a cut, I mean, that's pretty phenomenal. There's not many players that are doing that, and I guess that talks to your consistency. As you sort of mentioned, you start the year with a 4th in Italy there, and then a few weeks later, you're breaking through with another win, and then just consistent throughout the year. I mean, 10th, 14th, 6th, 11th, 9th, like it's just uber consistent. Can you put that consistency down to something in particular, or is it just hard work? Or I know I'm asking you all the questions to talk about yourself, but this is the point when we have guests on.
I don't know how to say anything that I've been a prick.
Just indulge yourself for the next half hour. You'll be fine.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know. I think I'm pretty confident with my putting. My putting's always been my strength, so I think that's definitely a good thing. My chipping too. I think I'm just like real confident. Like if I miss the green, like I just like know I'm gonna get an up and down. That sounded so arrogant, but like I'm just very confident with my chipping and putting. Not so much now. I'm a little bit rusty now, but it's coming back. But yeah,
you're certainly being a lot more humble than all the other guests that we have on here.
Who have you had on?
Oh, we've had that many guests on to start the year. We had Jed after his win up at the PGA Championship.
Yeah. He's a gronk.
Yeah. So he was loving it. He was I think that was humbly speaking, I think that was probably one of the more enjoyable interviews that he got to do because he could let all the swear words out that he was holding in for the past 3 days. Just scrolling back is who we had. We've had Laurie Flynn, we've had Josh Armstrong, we've had plenty. So there's a few in the can that will come, but you're being the most humble. I want to ask you about the other Aussies that you were on the European tour with as well. How much did you lean on them? I guess, for lack of a term, a rookie year still for you, even though it wasn't really in a lot of ways. But how much do you lean on the other Aussies that are on the tour in Europe with you? Is there a little sort of click that you've got going together, or do you kind of keep to yourself? How does all that work?
Yeah, well, there's not too many. I became real close with Whitney Hillier.
Yep.
This year. There's also Amy Walsh, but she was kind of in and out of events, if that makes sense. But yeah, I became really close with Whitney, and she kind of took me under her wing and introduced me around. And yeah, I made heaps of friends. Usually hang out with the girls from the UK. They're more fun, and they have the same banter. Some other people don't get it, so it's just boring.
How would you describe your banter? What's your sense of humor?
See, as long as I make myself laugh, like, that's fine. Don't really care if other people find me funny or not, as long as I'm in entertainment to myself. Pretty selfish, but like, oh well.
That's okay, as long as you're making yourself laugh. I think that's the most important thing. I guess we touched on sort of the COVID piece here in Australia before, but keen to understand what that COVID sort of restriction and the bubble, I guess, if there is one, or the testing regime, what is that like on the European tour? How challenging is that? I mean, how rigorous is it? Is it, I guess we probably have heard a little bit around the PGA Tour over with the men in the US, but we haven't really heard too much about how it happens over on the LET.
It's all right. Actually, the start of the year was quite tough. I think so. Dad came over with me, and we were stuck in this bubble, and like we shared hotel rooms, and I just remember the first hotel room in Italy was just awful because we had to stay at the host hotels, and it was like 2 single beds put together, and like the room was tiny. I had to put my suitcase under the beds because there was literally no room to move around. Oh, and I just thought, there's no way I'm doing 7 months of this. Like, there's no chance. But then, yeah, we had to get COVID tests every week. Depending on which country we traveled to, we had to check the rules and regulations. Such a nightmare. Just thinking about it now, so bad. But like, it kind of eased off. So at the start, we weren't allowed to go out for dinner, or out of the hotel. Really, it was just hotel golf course. But as the tournaments went on, they allowed us. We could go out to dinner, but we'd have to sit outside. And instead of PCRs, we did lateral flow tests and all that stuff. So it kind of eased off as the year went on, which is good. But yeah,
how challenging is that? Just picking up what you were talking about, not being able to essentially go out for dinners early in the piece there, and it's hotel golf course. How challenging is that? And do you think it affected your golf in any way? Obviously, I'm assuming you're not really mixing with too many people at that point because they're trying to keep you separated from other golfers, essentially. So you've got your old man to keep you company.
Yeah, well, for dinner and stuff and breakfast, we had 1 hour slots. So we just stay there for the whole hour. Even though we were done eating, we wouldn't cut it short. But it's more mentally draining because you just want to get outside. You're in Italy and France and all that, and you can't even go out and see anything. But I mean, it's just the world we live in now, which is quite shit. But oh well.
Let's chat about your win, the Big Green Egg Open. Comfortably the best tournament name on the Ladies European Tour.
Right.
The trophy, elite. You couldn't have picked a better tournament to win, Steph.
I tell you, I remember the worst part about that week was the COVID test. this chick rammed it so far up my nose. Oh, I have like PTSD from that. Like she just like jabbed it. Like it wasn't smooth at all. Anyway, the win was good. The green, I didn't even know what a green egg was until that week. It's a barbecue.
I know. I'm very much into smoking meat, so I was right across it.
Yeah, but like it's like real popular in Europe.
It is.
Like
It's very popular. Yeah. Did they gift you a big?
Yeah, I got one. They sent one to my house.
That's sick. There you go. I'll have
Still
to.
sitting in the box because I don't know how to use it.
I'll have to reach out and I'll give you some tips on smoking on a.
Yeah, send me instructions.
So anyway, let's talk about the golf. Back at the barbecue.
Yeah.
A very handy win, I guess. 2-shot victory over a pretty decent field as well, Steph. I mean, there's easy names that jump out very quickly. Atai Thitical, Lydia Hall. I mean, there's easy names to pick out there, but what's that week like? I mean, just uber consistent, 66, 72, probably the outlier, but not horrible golf. And then 65, 67. It seemed, if I can recall back to that time when you did win midway through last year, that it felt like it was a really controlled performance from you. I mean, keen to see if that's on the mark at all, or how do you kind of assess that week if you can cast your mind back nearly a year ago?
Yeah. Wow, it's actually nearly a year ago. I don't know. It was just like a good week. It was just steady golf. It didn't seem like anything special. Like Bombville was quite special. Like I just did everything right there. But yeah, that week I just felt like I made no like silly mistakes. I didn't waste any shots, and I just hold a couple extra long putts, and I kind of scored at the right time because I was one back with 3 to go. I was one back with 3 to go, and then I birdied 16, and then I birdied 17 as well, and the chick bogeyed it. So I had a 2-shot lead going into the last, and I was quite nervous because like I know like all I needed was a par, and like that would have like done it, but I was still so nervous because it was like obviously a lot closer than Bombville. Bombville was like a walk in the park those last few holes because I was hoping I wouldn't mess up from there. But yeah, I remember I like hit my drive a little right, and then I was in the rough, and I like got caught, and the club face like flipped. I tried to hit like an 8-iron because it was long like weeds. It wasn't like just rough. And then I've hit this like low hook straight left into the trees, like 30 meters out. And I've thought, oh my God, like you idiot. Like, how have you just like done this? But then I like chipped it to a foot.
There's that short game.
Yeah, there's a short game.
It's pretty. Yeah, absolutely. Can you separate the wins?
Exciting, but it was.
Oh no, it was exciting. But can you separate the wins? I mean, like, I guess the win at Bombville was obviously incredibly special and something that I think we probably hadn't really seen or probably expected. I don't know if you kind of expected that from yourself, but like, can you separate the two? Winning in Europe on the European Tour as well, as opposed to winning in Australia on the European Tour? Like, I'm not sure if you're picking up what I'm putting down there.
No idea. What do you mean separate?
Can you, does one mean more than the other, I guess, is the long story short. Like, I guess Bombville was incredibly special, but then going over to mainland Europe and winning on mainland Europe, can you kind of separate the two as, I guess, is one more special than the other?
I think they both have different meanings. Like Bombville gave me the chance to actually go to Europe and like turn pro rather than like say I came second, like no status. Like who knows where I'd be now. But in Holland, like my first professional win, like I performed well under the palm. Like I don't know, they're both like pretty cool. I think when you asked me when I win a major, compared to Bonville, then I can give you a better answer. But yeah, I think they're both special to me in their own ways.
It's a nice segue because I was about to go to the majors. Obviously, they're the Evian T65 there, but the one that I want to mention,
Don't say that.
yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on to the Women's Open. A really, really impressive performance, and I recall when we were reviewing this, I think that I might have called this probably your best performance to date, even better than your win. And I can't remember if I'm accurate even in saying that, but you were T13 at Carnoustie on an incredibly difficult course for starters, but against the best field in the world, and for you to go out and finish T13, and I'm sure not finish the way that you would have liked, in the sense that you dropped 3 shots in the last 5 holes there, but that performance just seemed like it was a real stepping stone for you to finish inside the top 15 at a major. I mean, I guess, how was that week playing Carnoustie in a women's Open Championship, and what did you take away from such a strong performance?
Yeah, it was unreal. The week before, I played the Scottish Open at Dunbarton. No, that's not it. I can't remember where I played. Anyway, everyone there was saying like Carnoustie is so good, like really talking it up. And the course we'd played at the Scottish was so pretty, but when we got to Carnoustie, I was like, oh, it's not that good. Like, what's everyone talking about? And then when you go and play it, like, the golf course is amazing. Like, the layout is just, it's so good. Like, I don't even know how to like describe it. It's such a good, one of my favorite golf courses now. But like, the bunkers are awful. Like, you can get so rooted, like, so bad. So we were actually quite lucky with the wind. It wasn't like too windy. It was maybe 1 to 2 clubs. And for Scotland, like, that's unreal. So yeah, it was cool. I mean, that week was very important to me. I was 4 over with 9 holes to go in the second round. So I was like 3 shots out of the cut line.
Mm.
And then I shot 6 under on that back 9 to make the cut by a few shots. And then I started playing good. I was calm, and then I don't even know what happened on the last day, but I was like 6 under through 12. And then some guy, I don't know, I think it was a scorer, he came up and he was like, oh, not to scare you, but you're in the lead. And I was like, oh, cheers, mate. I'll just shit myself a little bit. And then I played the par 3. Then the par 5, I made a bogey. It was such a stupid bogey. And then I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Let's just try get one back. And then I doubled the last hole.
Yes.
By hitting it OB.
Yes.
But like, to people listening, like, OB's only like 15 meters left of this flag. And like, you're coming in with a 4-iron into breeze. So just feel a little bit of sympathy for me, please.
I think if people know Carnoustie, they will. I mean, 2 things. Round 2, you touched on that point where your front 9, you went out in 4 over 40 and then came in 6 under 30. Can you pinpoint something that flicked in that, I don't know, between holes 9 and 10? Because it just turned on. You went birdie, par, eagle, birdie, birdie, par, birdie, par, par to shoot a 6 under 30. Was there something that just clicked? Were you kind of just like, fuck it, I'm just going to just enjoy it? Like, if I may as well have a red hot crack here, and if I miss the cut, then at least I've gone down swinging, or what's your mentality there?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, I remember the first few holes I got like fucked over by the bunkers, like, and I was just like, this course sucks. Like, because like I just got unlucky. And then on 9, I remember I hit in this fairway bunker again, and I was like, like getting so frustrated. I was like, this course can like fuck off. Like, oh, I just remember how angry I was. And I ended up making par. So I chipped out with a sandwich and then like hit a 9-iron on and boxed like a 30-footer for par. And I was like, all right, like, let's go. And my caddy Joe was like, what are you doing, mate? Why are you giving up? You got 9 holes. Yeah, and then I kind of just went ape shit on the scorecard and made the cut.
And then at some point found yourself in the lead.
Yeah, I think that like 30-footer that I made for par, like obviously got the momentum going. I mean, it might have been different or would have been different if I'd missed the putt, but yeah, I don't even know. I just like everything was just good that back nine.
What did you learn that week? I guess T13, as I mentioned, a really, really strong performance. I mean, as we said, to go from potentially missing the cut to flying home to being in the lead to not finishing as well as you would have liked, and then ultimately finishing T13. What did you learn, I guess, either about yourself or about your game, or what was it that you learned that week?
I think as cliche as it is, like that week was actually really good for my confidence and for like my self-belief. To actually know I'm able to do that, like 6 under and 9 holes is pretty good. Like, yeah, I don't know. It was just like gave me so much confidence heading into the weekend, and I think I like said to myself, like a major is just like any other tournament. Like you're still playing golf, where like it's hard not to, but you know, you kind of think of a major as a big deal, like a massive deal. You're playing for more money, bigger, like you have a chance to be a major champion. It's yeah. So just to get that good, like treat it like any other tournament is probably what I learned the most.
Is it hard to do that? Because, like, not to draw an analogy to like local sport growing up, like playing in cricket grand finals, people used to say, oh, it's just another game. And in the back of my head, I'm like, it's not though. There's a lot more on the line. Yeah, like you've got to win. Like this is it. If we lose, no one gives a shit. If we win, we're the premiers. But like, obviously, a very long bow to being a major champion. But like, is that hard to wrangle with in your own head to kind of tell yourself, just go out, it's another week. But then like, you know, on the other shoulder, there's someone sitting there telling you, no, this is a big deal. Yeah.
It's hard. I think because it's a bigger deal. Like you treat like royalty there. Like it's so strict. Like players' lounge, gym, lockers, like presents. Like it's actually like it's a huge deal. But like I remember watching events and being on the outside of the rope, and now I'm on the inside, so it's quite nervous. And like on the first tee, there's like a stadium or like a grandstand around, and everyone's just all eyes are on you, and it's just like just make contact with the ball. But I mean, people just say like it's like any other game, just because people don't tend to perform well when they think about it, e.g. me. So I mean, yeah, you just kind of have to treat it like another game. Obviously it's not, but like the better you are at that, the easier winning becomes, I think.
Winning Rookie of the Year as well. Another just feather in the cap of Steph Kyriacou. I mean, what does that mean to you, I guess, to go over and I guess take the Ladies European Tour by storm and to win, you know, a really great award? I mean, what does that, I guess, do for your confidence? What does it mean to you? Is it a goal of yours going over to win Rookie of the Year? Like, how does all that kind of sit with you at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd never really thought about it because it was in 2020 until one of the boys I play golf with at home sent me like my score and like what I was coming. I was like, oh, cheers. Like, I didn't really think about it. And then, like, I mean, I had a pretty good 2020. Like, I think it was like 6 top 5s, 1 top 20, and then one miscut on 170th or something. So like it was a pretty good year, and yeah, I won Rookie of the Year. I wasn't like expecting it, or wasn't a goal because I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool though.
Let's jump over the pond, the LPGA Tour, where you are going to be spending your time. I mean, firstly, congratulations on securing your card. What I guess first and foremost, what are your expectations of yourself? Obviously, we touched on expectations of going over to Europe and all of that, but what's your expectations going into your first LPGA Tour season? I guess obviously with some other fellow Aussies, which we'll get to in a minute as well.
Oh, excuse me. Oh. I mean, I have no expectations really. I've played in obviously the co-sanctioned events before, so I know what it's like. But yeah, I'm gonna try go there with no expectations and just play golf and kind of see what happens. Obviously, I'd love to win and stuff, but again, just adding that unnecessary pressure, like, it doesn't help, does it? So just gonna go over there, cruise for a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully the next time on the podcast I have a win under my belt.
That would be sensational. So yourself, Sarah Jane Smith, and Karis Davidson, all securing the card through the Q School. Take us through what Q School is like. We spoke to Justin Warren at the end of last year about Corn Ferry Tour Q School, and he was telling us, how difficult that was over there. And, we've spoken to different people about different tour Q schools that they've gone through. But what's your experience in going over to the States? How different is it to Europe? I guess you're obviously going over there with, I don't know, people kind of knew who you were going over there. I don't know if you were probably aware of that, but this LET star who finished third on the race to Costa del Sol's coming over for a crack at the LPGA. I mean, how was the whole Q School experience for yourself?
Q School was good. It was so long, but it was good. Because I played in Spain the week before, and then I remember flying on the Monday, like getting in on the Monday night, playing Tuesday, Wednesday, because there was 2 courses that first week. So I had to have a practice round on both. Played Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday to Sunday. So there's 6 rounds. And then drove 4 hours to the other course, practice round Tuesday, chilled on Wednesday, played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So what's that? 5? That's 11 rounds in 14 days. Like, it was so long, and I was jet lagged that first week. Oh, and I wasn't really planning on going to Q School until like a few weeks before Q School. So I was like counting down the days to like go home, and then when I had to add the 2 weeks, I was like, oh, this is shit. And those 2 weeks went so slow too, because I was just like, yep, 11 more days, 10 more days. But it was all worth it, not complaining. I would be complaining if I missed the cut, but yeah, I'm glad I went now.
We spoke about obviously the other Aussies on the LET, and you touched on Whitney. Obviously, Karis is going to be over there as well. Sarah Jane Smith, as we mentioned. Obviously, there's a few other Aussies on the LPGA Tour. So we're going to have a really good Aussie contingent. Obviously, the likes of Hannah Gree and Min Jie as well. So there's going to be a really good Aussie contingent over there. I mean, have you reached out to any of those ladies who have been playing over there for a little bit longer than obviously yourself, or are you going to lean on them for a bit of experience, or just again kind of do your own thing? How have you sort of given that any thought?
Yeah, I've become closer with Karis. I mean, I played with her today.
Yeah.
First time I really like properly spoke to her was at Q School, and we helped each other out and all that. So that was good. Same with Sarah Jane, like, yeah, became closer over Q Series, and Greenie is always like, I mean, we've always got along really. I was just like, she just kind of left amateur days when I got into them, so I never really met her through that. but like all the Aussie girls are so nice and so welcoming, and like they're so helpful. Like I think I'll be very lucky to have like a good bunch of girls around me when I'm over there. Otherwise, it'd be pretty lonely being stuck in America with no Aussies.
You said that you have no expectations, but do you have any goals that you want to achieve while you're over there? Obviously, I mean, last time that we spoke to you, I think you left us with the comment that you want to be world number one and you want to win a major, and I assume that probably hasn't changed. I don't know if that's still a goal for 2022, but maybe if you've got any goals that you want to achieve on your first year in the LPGA.
Yeah, that was more of like a long-term goal, like within like 3 years, maybe not 1 year in Europe, but yeah, that's still definitely a goal. More of my goals now though are more for my mental game and like my confidence rather than just like results. So I've still got that going. I mean, I've lost a little bit of distance, so it'd be nice to get that back, but not really important because I just need to try hit it straight first. But yeah, it's more mental stuff and just like a couple results things, but quite boring.
So what does the year look like? I guess you're obviously playing Vic Open now, and when's the plan to go back to the States? When are you getting into the swing of things over there? What does that all kind of look like?
So I am going to Saudi Arabia in the middle of March. So I play Vic Open, and then I'm not going to play any of the other Aussie events. I just kind of want to have a few weeks to actually grind and prep before I go away for however many months it is, 8 months or whatever it is. So yeah, I just want to practice, and then I go to Saudi in March for a week and then just head to the States from there.
What's it like playing in Saudi Arabia? I mean, very topical at the moment in the world of golf.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to say on Saudi Arabia, but what's it like playing over there?
I mean, it's definitely a different country to most. Where the golf course is, it's kind of like a gated off community, so it's quite safe. I mean, the course is like unreal. It's so good. It's right on the Red Sea, so like their signature hole 16 is like this shit scary tee shot. Like you've got all hazard on the left, which is the Red Sea, and it's like 140 meters, so it's not even like a flick wedge or anything. And it's like it's a really good hole, but I mean, it's just hot. It's just so hot there. That's the only issue. It's so like it was steaming. Like you walk outside and you feel disgusting.
Here's you coming from Europe, going and playing in Saudi Arabia. You probably couldn't go for two different climates.
No, but like it was just humid. It was like being in the Gold Coast, but worse.
I'm sure it won't pose any sort of threat to your game because you are playing quite nicely at the moment. And of course, we do wish you the very best of luck for the rest of the Vic Open. As we said, we are recording this on Thursday night after day one. We best let you go and get some sleep, get prepped for day two. And we wish you the very best of luck for everything that's to come this year, particularly over on the LPGA. And we look forward to catching up after that first victory over there in the States. So thanks very much for joining us again, Steph.
No pressure. Thank you.